are back at Enjoying Your Blended Family. So last week we talked on one of the holiday things that could steal joy from us as a family. So today we're going to carry that into another joy stealer, which we should just like that's a pretty good one. Joy stealer. It's a joy stealer. It steals the joy.
Stiller.
Joy still, yeah, maybe not. So maybe we won't do that. But another joy stealer.
Joy sucker.
Joy sucker.
No? Okay.
Another sucker of thy joy.
Another thing that sucks the joy out of the holidays. I mean, we are enjoying your blended family, so we focus a lot of things on
enjoying each other.
Your blended family.
What a concept.
And it happens to be the holidays.
It is the holidays. But in the holidays, we can so easily have that joy sucked out, joy sucker, sucked out of us. And today, we're going to talk about the money blues.
He really likes to call it that. Yes. Just all the things that can suck that joy out when it comes to money during the holidays.
So we will... Man, this is going to be a great episode. We're excited. Stay tuned. So the money blues. I feel like the Blues Brothers. Like I need some glasses and a hat on. And
you should have prepared.
I should have prepared better, and I didn't. So money blues. You know, money fights is one of the leading causes for divorce. If you hadn't heard that, boom, there it is. Yeah. That's crazy. And we say that lightly and kind of jokingly, but it is true. And when it comes to holidays, we can overspend a lot of times. It's very easy to do that. Let's face it, the business culture we live in they're very good at their jobs, and they make you feel like you got to have everything that's out.
Yeah, we just got like the Amazon toy magazine in.
Oh yes, Amazon sends the magazines.
I mean, I kind of like that they send it because it reminds me of getting the Sears catalog when I was younger and picking out things for Christmas in there and like circling them and giving it to my grandma. So when I saw it,
this is what I want.
It reminded me of that, but then at the same time, it is just like so. I remember when the kids were younger, and I would do the same thing with them, like what I was just talking about that I would do with my grandma. But when you have a lot of kids, it's a lot of toys. And when they're at that age, like everything looks good. So they want everything. And then not just one of everything, but multiple of everything in every color. And that's just expensive.
It is. That is expensive. And it's a trap that we can all fall into. And let me just say, I mean, kudos to Amazon because that's clever. That's very great business tactic to put that out there to where you're now not just on a computer, but you're visually seeing it. So it does, you know, and your kids start opening it up and they're like, oh, I want this and that. And it is one of those things. And so we do live in a business day of age to where they're very good at their jobs. People spend a lot of money, you know, just trying to advertise these things and to get you to where, you know, you want to buy it. And I'm not saying that that's bad by any means, but as consumers, we do have to be careful. We have to know our limitations because it's so easy for us to fall into the traps of overspending, and then we get ourselves into a lot of trouble. And whenever that happens, now you're not only thinking of joy holiday, you're thinking of, oh crap, what have I done? And then you're thinking, you know, you got that buyer's remorse in a sense to where now it's like, oh, I can't believe I did that. And you were going to say something. You went.
Deep breath.
Like, I am so ready.
I'm so ready to
speak. Go ahead. I will back up for you.
Now you made me forget.
Oh no.
No, I didn't. I think because part of it too, and part of the trap and the problem is that the holidays is a time that you can be selfless in a way, and that you're giving, and you want to be thoughtful, and you want to bless other people. You want to bless your family members. You want to bless your children. You want to give them all of these things. And like for us, we didn't shop a lot during the year. Birthdays and Christmas was really when we do gift giving. And so when the holiday comes up, you want to give them everything that they want. And so I think that's part of it too. It's not just the materialistic of comparing or trying to keep up or anything, but also like you feel like you're doing a good thing because you're being selfless in the process, right?
Yeah, no, and that's very true. And I think it's a mixture of both. You want to buy things, you want to give things, you want to be generous, and there's so many factors that play into it. But the worst part that we can have through these holidays, I say this as a blended family, but as any family, is whenever you sit there and you go get credit cards and you run a massive amount of debts to try to live this lifestyle that really you can't afford to. And now these holidays are carrying you, they're staying with you for years after that. So now you've got all these monthly payments that you've accrued that is like, oh my goodness, how are we going to do this? What did we do?
And I'll speak from sure. I mean, in my previous marriage, that is how I did Christmas. Like I did put it on credit cards. I was very thankful when we came into our marriage. We took a financial class and we learned some things early on. So and I think we're going to talk about that here in a second, right? As far as ways to
we're going to give some tips and everything that we've learned to hopefully help you as well. Just things that how we can overcome this.
Saying like having done it both ways, like. And seeing how it can like weigh on you in the summertime when you're still trying to pay a bill off that was from Christmas. Whereas when we do the things that we're fixing to talk about and we still spend money, we still get that heart of giving behind it to our children, but it doesn't follow us.
Yeah, and what makes it even worse is whenever now you've got all this credit card debt or you've got all this debt that you've racked up and you're, like she says, in summertime and you're still paying on all this. And then all those toys that you thought you had to buy for your kids, they're sitting in the back of the toy box and, buried in all the other things that, in reality, do they really need all of it? And this may not...
triggers you.
Yeah.
Because you're still paying
no,
on this
you will play with this.
And they don't even want to play with it anymore. It's not interesting. Maybe they didn't even really want it in the first place, but you were trying to like feel that, you just felt like you needed to get more stuff because you didn't get enough in the first. I remember doing that. Like it just didn't seem like enough presents under the tree. And so I needed to just get some other stuff. And then when that stuff's going out to the side of the road or whatever because they don't care about it,
and you're still paying bills on it because you really didn't have the money to buy it to begin with, so you borrowed money to make it happen. And so it's just these traps we can fall into, and it sucks that joy out of you, and then it carries on through the rest of your life whenever now you're trying to figure out a new plan. What am I going to do to survive? Now we have even less money every month to try to make it. And it's just this spiral down effect that the holidays can stir up, this big trap. And then I'm going to throw in a blended family hot topic that we fall into, and it's very easy as parents in blended families, is we feel like we have to give this to our kids because now either it's a competition between us and the ex-spouses. Who can give the better and who can make the best holiday for them so that they'll want to be with us and not the other, if I'm just being honest. Yeah. We can get into those traps. And all it is hazardous for us, it's hazardous for the exes, and it's super hazardous for the kids because now we're putting the kids in the middle of it as well. And that's even dangerous too. That steals the joy out of everybody now, not just yourself, but that pours into your family. And these are just some traps that we fall into that just really knock that joy out of us. So whenever we're talking money, so some things that we can do to overcome some things that we learned coming into our marriage, because we both came from past where we did have credit card debt and we lived outside of our means. We tried to keep up with the Joneses, and little did we know that the Joneses were all in debt too. They just didn't show it. Their Facebooks looked really good. So I think that's us, right? We fall into those traps that we're just trying to keep up, and until we can pull back and just live within our means, then it changes the game. And then you have more peace in your home. It's crazy. But one of the things that we learned coming together was to live within our means. If we didn't have it, we didn't spend it. One course we were blessed to take.
Sometimes I do.
One course we were blessed to be able to take right when we married, and this was back in 2008. Yeah. So we came together as a married couple, and our church offered a Financial Peace University class. And first time I'd ever heard of Dave Ramsey and his products, and there were several classes that they were hosting at that time for us at the church. Mm-hmm. So we prayed about it and discussed it. We had just gotten married that spring, and these classes were that fall. Well, I proposed in the spring, sorry, and we got married right there in the fall. So we had just gotten married. A month or two later, they offer these classes. Man, I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. But they just offered these classes, and so we prayed about it, and we said, you know what, let's do the financial class. Let's do that one. Yeah. And so
it was a good choice.
It was an amazing choice, and at that time, that met us right where we needed to be met, taught us about budgeting and things of that nature. So that's one thing, as we were combining our finances, we didn't know how to do it. We were struggling on our own finances beforehand. And then now we're coming and taking two messed up finances and trying to put it together to have one big mess. And we didn't know what we were doing. And here we are, we were about our 30s by, well, you weren't. We were close to our 30s, I think. Yeah, we were both getting right there at our 30s. So we still didn't figure out this money thing, and then we came together, and it revolutionized the way that we handle things. So we learned how to budget, and that was a key. That was a key. So if you've never had a budget or don't know anything about a budget, that's step number one. You've got to live on a budget. So, and the great thing is, the more money you make, the more you have to spend or the more you have to save, right? So, but the thing is, basically all you're doing is you're having a plan for your money. So you're saying, okay, every paycheck that comes in, I'm telling my money where to go. I'm not going to 2 days later after I get my paycheck, I'm like, where in the world did all my money go? And then it's like you're tracing it back to all those gas station stops and things, and going, oh yeah.
But in that course, they actually talked about Christmas. That was one of the jokes that Dave Ramsey would say is when you're not budgeting, and then it's like, you say you do have some money as an emergency fund, and then it's like, oh crap, Christmas is in December this year. And so it's like, then they would go and take from that emergency fund and spend that money they didn't have, or put it on a credit card because, it's an emergency, and they got that credit card for emergencies. And that was one of the things that was like a light bulb for us. And it was like, oh, and so he suggests taking a little bit out
every month.
Yeah, every month
put back for Christmas coming up, or the holidays, for Thanksgiving. You know what? Some of these holidays or birthdays that come up is you're actually every month you're accounting for that. You're putting back a little money just for that. That way when the time comes, 12 months you've been putting back money, so you've got it for Christmas. So that revolutionized the way that we approach the holidays. And
now to be completely honest though, we might plan to put $100 every month for Christmas, and we don't make it a priority the first few months, but then when it gets down to August, we're like, okay,
having to put back a lot of money.
Now we have to put back this much, because we usually have a target of okay, we're going to spend this amount of money on Christmas this year. And so we try to hit that target by putting money back, and then whatever that amount ends up being, say we didn't quite hit our mark, we take that and we divide it amongst our each other and our kids.
However many people we were spending for, we would divide that money. And it just changed the way that we did things. It's like, okay, we're going to save for this holiday instead of getting to the holiday, have no money, and feel like now I got to put it on debt or credit. And now I'm paying 18% interest on it for 12 months after that. So I'm paying so much more than what I should have paid for it.
Or you're hoping to get that Christmas bonus, and then on the Christmas vacation, and
you get the mold cake.
You get a fruit cake thing instead, and then you are
I already put in the pool. Uh-oh. So yeah, you don't want to do that. Don't be that. Chevy Chase, that was funny though. So, but it's a crazy concept that we were like, man, light bulb moment, phenomenal, yes. So put back a little every month if you can to hit a target of what you want to spend for the holidays. Can totally change how you approach it. And then when the holidays come, you have a plan. Now you know exactly how much money you have to spend. You know,
and it's fun.
You know your limits. Now it can be a game because now it's like, okay, what can I get for this? And now you're not sitting there with this sad heart and joy sucked out going, how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to do Christmas? How am I going to make this happen? So, that was a new way for us to approach things. And when we did that, it just really made the holidays fun. So,
okay, and I want to tell it because I'm going to say a couple things. You can take our advice or leave it, but I've heard a lot of people ask, like, well, do you spend the same amount on each kids? How much do y'all spend on each of your kids? And it has varied for us, just depending on the circumstances of life at that point. We've always done the same amount for each kid. So as far as whatever it is that we have to spend, we divide it amongst, like, what are we spending on each other? And then what are we spending on the kids? And we make it the same amount. And then another thing that we do that I just fell in love with, and I think he did once we started doing it, was taking the day off and shopping from home.
Yes. Yeah, that was fun. So we would sit there and plan a day, just me and her, to have one big date day. Even from work, it's like, okay, on this day at work, we're both taking off. We're both coming together, and we're going to spend the whole day shopping.
Like the kids still went to school.
Yeah, they would go to school and everything, but we would take time for ourselves. And, initially we would go out and go shopping to the malls and everything. But now we found it just really nice to where we could sit in bed in our pajamas and shop online. So
yeah, well, for
that's
one
been
thing,
fun
when you
too.
go out, you spend more money than you might, like, I felt like when we were going out and, like, going to the big shopping strips and just walking, you buy a lot more impulse or things that don't really have meaning to them. Whereas when we would take this day and we would sit and we would list out our family members, I mean, it's a little more time consuming because this dude is all about spreadsheets. But, so you list out all the family members that you're buying for and putting in the amounts that you have planned for that. And then you can, like, think and talk and brainstorm different ideas. So it's not necessarily that you're buying everything off of Amazon online, but you can think about, like, what is something that we think they would really appreciate. Like,
we'll be right back. Check this out. Blended families can be hard at times, can't they? Have you ever said, I don't feel like me and my spouse are connecting? Or I'm bending over backwards and my stepkid still pushes me away? Or do you feel like your family's doing okay, but you'd like it to be more than okay? You want your family to level up, take it to an even stronger level.
The truth is, we're all looking for more joy and happiness in our lives. So how do we start seeing that in our blended family? Because really, our family is the first place we should truly be enjoying and having the most fun with. So how do you enjoy your blended family? You create more fun opportunities that your family loves doing. These are big things, they're small things that cost money, things that don't cost money. But the more fun you have together, the less blended family drama you'll have, which equals more joy and happiness for everyone. Now, you may be saying, yeah, but I don't know how to do that. I don't even know where to start. That's okay. We walk you through 5 fun dates you get to have with your family. These dates help you discover those fun things your family loves doing. You'll walk away with so many more great ideas and have an amazing, easy plan to make it happen and to keep it going. Plus, you get to have a lot of fun discovering all this in the process. We walk you through everything and make it really fun and easy.
So how do you enjoy your blended family? By going on these 5 dates and discovering fun in your stepfamily. You'll be so glad you did. Have more fun together and you'll see less problems. The link to get started on this amazing journey is in the show notes of this episode.
For our niece, we got, like, family zoo tickets for them. So it doesn't always have to be like, okay, it's you're just buying something from Amazon and having it shipped to their house. But it gave us a chance to talk about it, brainstorm, look up things online. And it was like a game because we were trying to keep it in the amount of money that we had allotted.
Yep.
But then, like, say we found a great idea and it didn't cost as much for this family member, then we might take some of that and put it somewhere else.
Put it in another spending thing, so we would, and that's basically having that budget, right? So what we would do for our kids, and now even as they're older, we tell them, we're spending this much money for each one of your presents, what would you like? What do you want? And maybe what they're wanting is super expensive, because the older they get, the more expensive the toys get, right? We all know that. And so it's like, well, would you rather me just give you the money, that way it goes towards it? Or would you rather us get you some stuff? And so, we kind of approach it that way. And so they know. And it's more fun for them too, and there's been a lot of times it's like, no, I want this or that, or they'll give us a list of ideas and we'll choose from that. So that's been really big.
Or if we give them cash, like if they want cash or gift cards, because I know that's boring and that doesn't seem like the holiday spirit, you make them work for it.
There was this one time, okay, I'm going to tell you this. This one time I did for Scarlett, it was crazy, but I had this card, and I think it was like an event that we were going to do, so it was like tickets or something like that. But I put them in a small little envelope, and I had this huge box. I mean, and y'all probably heard of the prank, to where it's like the super big box with a small little gift. But what I did was I did multiple boxes, so they were all like inside each other, and they were all wrapped, and they were all numbered. And she would open up the big box, and there'd be another big box, and then she'd have to open that one up, and she opened up like 4 or 5 of them, and then say, go back to box 2. Because in box 2 I'd slid it up under the bottom of the thing, and so it was like this big game for that was really fun.
You can make it, or like when he was needing new clothes or wanting new clothes, but I didn't really want to go shopping for him, so I took like all the money and just taped it all together and put it in a box, so he's like pulling it out like this. So you can still be creative and have fun with it, even if the item or whatever is cash or a gift card or maybe a trip. Maybe instead of doing a gift, you're doing, I know I have a friend who their family, instead of gifts, now they've been doing family trips every year, and one of the kids gets to choose what that's going to be, but they plan for that and they prepare for that all year. So it's whatever you're going to do. It's not an amount of money that we're really saying only spend this, or only spend this.
It's totally up to you, up to your budget. But you're spending what you have. You're not going outside of your means and having to borrow and go into debt. So whenever you approach the holidays that way, you've got a plan. You already thought about it. You've been putting money back for it. Man, it's a game changer. It really is. It takes us that stress out of the holidays and allows you to have fun. And when you're having fun and you're not so stressed and worked up, it brings that dynamic into your family.
Yeah.
And if you're stressed and you're worked up, it brings that dynamic into your family. And everybody feels it. It can either pull your family down or it can bring your family up. So, that's just one way to do with the money blues, because money is always a tough subject when you talk holidays. We have those giving hearts, or we have, we're just wanting things or we want to give things, and it all costs money most of the time. But we'll walk away. I got one more thing. And this one is probably one of the most powerful things that we've gotten to now, is getting out of that materialistic mindset and getting more into a relational mindset. Yeah. That whenever the holidays do come, as we talked about, maybe it's not necessarily giving the new latest toy or trinket or whatnot, but doing something together, buying a concert ticket or buying the zoo tickets. We took my mom to a ballet, the Nutcracker, and man, let me tell you, we had a night out and it was so fun.
Yeah,
we thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, she just was.
She loved it, and it was just amazing. And whenever you start making the holidays more about spending that quality time with each other and coming up with creative ways to do that, man, I'm telling you, that's another game changer right there. Is you're creating now those memories that last forever. The toys and trinkets, they come and they go. They rust, they go away. The newest one comes out, and then you throw that one away and get the newest one. That's the electronic circle of life. But whenever we sit here and we spend relational time, quality time together, that lasts lifetimes.
Okay, I'm gonna give them one more then.
Okay, well, you get a bonus.
One more.
Bonus more.
Okay, this is an idea of
I called it a bonus more.
A bonus more.
Yeah, it's like one more instead of bonus. Okay, never mind. That was done.
Now, I actually have this available where you can get it from us, but you don't have to get it from us. You can just do this completely on your own and make it for yourself. But to me, it helps spread out the gift giving over the year, and that's doing a year of dates.
Oh, yeah.
So for Christmas, you create on little cards like what you're going to take the kid to do that month. So depending on how many kids, I don't know if you just wanted to give this to one of your kids, that might not be good, but unless you're doing it for like their birthday or something. But taking that and making for each one of your kids something for you and them to do that month. So maybe if it's March, maybe you're going out to pick strawberries. I'm just thinking of some of the stuff that I have planned. Or summertime, like a day at the beach or hang out by the pool. Whatever it is, you're making it go along with that month. And it could be something like that's completely free. Like, hey, me and you are going to the park this month. And then you take each of those ideas and you put it in its own envelope. And then, so let's say on January, you're going to plan you're going to the park with your kid. So you just write on there, me and you going to the park. Put that in an envelope and write January on the outside of it. Then you do that same thing for February all the way through December.
And you seal those up, and
Yeah,
then they open it at the beginning of the month.
Yeah, each month they open up theirs and they get to see what y'all are doing as your date. And then you go take that and you write it on the calendar. That's what's really important because it doesn't happen. And I don't get to every date for all of my kids every month. Like, I try to make sure that I do, but it doesn't always work out that way. But it gives us something to look forward to, and excitement, anticipation that's just something between me and them. And then it takes that time you would spend money on them and it spreads it out throughout the year. So
yeah, powerful stuff. So that's good. So yeah, money blues is a big deal. It can steal the joy out of the holidays. And we want to flip that.
But it doesn't have to, yeah.
We want to flip the script. So it's powerful whenever we flip that script. We don't want money to control us. We want to be in control of it. That way money is not the thing. Money is just, it's paper. It has no feelings, no emotions. So it's not about loving that. It's about loving each other in our relationships. So there's power in that. So as we flip the script, we're sitting there, we have a plan. We want to plan for our money. We want to save. We want to save because we know Christmas is always in December. We know Thanksgiving is always in November. We know when each person's birthday is that comes up. So whenever we're saving for those throughout the months, then it doesn't come as a sudden surprise like, oh crap.
Shocker.
So we save, we have a certain amount that we're going to spend, and then we divide that up amongst each other, and then you get to go have fun and spend that money for them. So it's a really powerful thing. And then it's also getting out of the idea that I have to get them a thing, that maybe it's an event, maybe it's a date night, maybe it's something like that, to where you're creating more memories together. So those are some of the powerful things, some of the powerful walkaways that we have learned that has brought more joy back in the holidays for us.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Good. I was going to say that. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Well, that ends our money blues. We're turning them from money blues to money joys.
Oh my goodness. You just
Money
turn
joy.
into like a preacher when you start doing all that.
Money joys. I don't even know that
Just
doesn't even
remember
sound-
to enjoy the moment.
And enjoy the holidays.
holidays with your family. That's the key takeaway.
So we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this episode has been a blessing and encouraged your family journey.
Make sure you stay connected with us and join our weekly Blended Family newsletter. We send an email out every Friday morning full of support and encouragement.
And when you join, we also want to give you a free gift. So go get yours today. The link is in the show notes below.
Have an amazing day. Remember to enjoy the journey with your blended family, and we'll see you on the next episode.